We all have this picture in our heads of what a particle is. An electron, a photon, we think of them as these tiny, solid little balls of stuff just whizzing around. But what if that whole picture, the very foundation of how we see matter, is just wrong? What if a particle isn't actually a thing?
Right. What if it's not a static object at all, but a dynamic unfolding process? A kind of stable pattern that's literally woven into the fabric of space-time itself. This is the wild idea behind a framework called Causal Latency Theory. And let me tell you, it basically reimagines everything we thought we knew about reality.
Okay, so the theory kicks off with this really radical idea. It says that for anything to exist, right here and right now, it has to be totally consistent with its own past and its own future. Now, that's not just some philosophical navel-gazing. It's a hard physical rule that actually gives rise to matter, through something the source material calls a handshake in time.
So in this view, a particle is what they call a causal knot. To get your head around this, just imagine a wave sent from the past, moving forward. Physicists call that a retarded potential. At the exact same time, there's another wave coming from the future, moving backward, the advanced potential. When these two waves meet up and interfere in just the right way, bam, they lock into place, creating a stable, self-refreshing standing wave. And that is the particle. And this visual just shows it perfectly. That stable, localized pulse you see, that's our causal knot. It's the handshake between past and future, and it traps energy in this constant self-reinforcing loop. So what we call mass, it's got nothing to do with the Higgs field here. Mass is simply the refresh rate, the frequency, the beat of this handshake successfully maintaining itself. So what happens if you blast this knot with a ton of energy? Well, the handshake breaks, the standing wave literally unties and dissolves back into its component parts. The wave from the past keeps traveling forward, we see that as an electron, and the wave from the future, its twin, travels backward, which we see as a positron. This is pair production. You're not creating matter from nothing, you're just unlocking a resonant state that was already there in the vacuum. All right, so if a particle is really a standing wave, a constant handshake, it can't just be sitting there, right? It has to have some kind of dynamic internal structure, a rhythm. It should, breathe. It should have a heartbeat. And that is exactly what the theory predicts. Check this out. On the left, that's a simulated snapshot of an electron captured in a single attosecond. It's not a point. It's this beautiful, complex structure of rings. And this structure is constantly oscillating. It's breathing at an insane rate called the Compton frequency. But our experiments are way too slow to see that. So when we try to measure it, all that amazing internal action just gets blurred out, and we see the familiar smooth probability cloud on the right. So this is the absolute key difference, right? The standard model says an electron is a fundamental point, and its location is just a fuzzy cloud of probability. Causal latency theory says, no. The cloud is the particle, or more accurately, it's the time-lapsed photo of a real, physical, breathing, standing wave. We're moving from a statistical ghost to an actual geometric reality. Okay, so this new way of seeing a particle has absolutely massive implications. I mean, if particles are standing waves, then chemistry, how particles actually bond together, can't just be about trading charges anymore. It has to be about synchronizing waves. So in this model, a chemical bond happens when two of these causal knots get close enough to start syncing up their phases, their breathing. When they sync up, their total energy drops, and that creates an attraction. But if you push them too close together, they start messing with the local vacuum structure, creating this powerful repulsion. The bond forms at that perfect sweet spot you see in the energy well there, where the attraction and repulsion are in perfect balance. And this isn't just theory. It explains stuff we see every day. You know the water molecule H2O, right? Why does it have that specific 104.5-degree bend? It's not random. According to this, it's the exact geometric angle that lets the hydrogen and oxygen atoms maximize their causal coherence, to sync up their phase breathing in the most stable, energy-efficient way they can. Now, if this applies to simple molecules, where does it go from there? What about the incredibly complex machinery of life itself? Okay, this is where the theory gets really, really fascinating. On the left, you've got the standard picture of DNA, a kind of atomic skeleton. But look at the image on the right. That is the causal body view. What it shows is a continuous, phase-locked current that's running through the entire helix. So the DNA molecule isn't just a static chemical list, it's a dynamic vacuum waveguide. It's a resonant cavity whose shape is perfectly designed to topologically protect the quantum information it's carrying from any outside noise. So let's just step back for a second. What does all of this mean? From a single particle all the way up to the structure of DNA, this theory is reframing our reality. It's not a collection of little objects, but a self-organizing information network that's all governed by one rule: causal consistency. This table just lays it all out so clearly. The nature of a particle, it goes from a point to a standing wave. The origin of mass, forget the Higgs, it's the refresh rate of a causal loop. Antimatter isn't some weird twin, it's the necessary time-reversed part of the handshake. And chemical bonds, that's phase synchronization. It's a complete rewrite, from the ground up. And this quote from the source material just perfectly captures the whole spirit of it. And that, of course, leads us to the final absolutely mind-blowing thought. If the universe really works on these principles, if matter, energy, and even life are just expressions of a causal information network, well, that changes everything. It suggests that the fabric of reality isn't just something for us to observe. It's something that could, maybe, be engineered. What happens when we go from just reading the source code of reality to actually starting to write it?